So hi everyone, my name is Eder and welcome to another Project Wesker video. In today's video, we're actually going to be talking about Resident Evil Reverse being delayed until 2022. But right before we get started, I'd just like to mention that if this is your first time here, I consistently post about everything that has to do about Resident Evil. And the other thing is that actually I'm in a new studio. And so for those of you wondering why I haven't posted in quite some time, I actually posted a video explaining in detail what's been going on in my life. But spoiler alert, it's actually I moved to the other side of the country. And so I'm still setting up this new studio, right? Forgive me for the lighting, right? Right now I just have one light, but I have more lights coming, right? And other stuff for the new studio. And so you guys can look forward to that. But yeah, going back to the topic, right? Resident Evil Reverse was actually supposed to come out in July. That's the last bit of information we got. And so it looks as if Resident Evil was actually supposed to come out this week or the week prior, since this information actually just came out 4 days ago, right? And it came out in a really weird way. Actually, Resident Evil tweeted out, and I'll show you guys the tweet, but they basically just said that we're basically going to delay the game until 2022 so that we can have a better experience with the gameplay, right? So we can work on the gameplay. Now that's actually really weird, since Resident Evil Reverse was actually supposed to be part of the Resident Evil anniversary. So it's kind of like a celebration. That's why, you know, the Reverse, we could play as several different characters in the franchise. So yeah, and it was supposed to be a free game that came out with Resident Evil 8. So that's kind of strange that this is a free game that came out with Resident Evil 8, but we won't be able to play it right until next year. And so I guess it's safe to say that we can delete it off our systems, right? But yeah, I was actually really looking forward to trying it out this week, right, or the next week, right? Because like I said, the last bit of news that we got was it was supposed to come out in July. The other thing is that personally, I actually never tried the betas, so I was actually super busy when that happened. It was actually, I think, before I actually started this channel, and so yeah, I never got to try it out. But what I've seen, you know, it kind of looked like it would have gotten boring incredibly fast, right? It looked like it was kind of like a free-for-all where you just play as heroes. If you die as a hero, you still come back as a villain, right? Or as a BOW, and you can still gain points. Yeah, that looked like it was going to get old pretty fast. Now I imagine there was going to be more game modes, right? And I think that would have helped the game a lot, right? If there was like a cooperative thing, or if there was like an infection, right? Like Call of Duty infection, something kind of like that, right? You know, at the start of the game where you have one guy that's a BOW and he's trying to infect the whole team, something like that, right? Or maybe like a survival mode. That would have been a lot more interesting for me personally, right? To be able to try the beta. But yeah, it just looked like it was just a free-for-all, and there was a lot of bugs apparently, right? That's what a lot of people said. There was a lot of power balance issues with the weapons. And so yeah, but I never got to try it, but I was looking forward to trying it. And so, but like I said, I guess we're just gonna have to wait for another 7 months, right? Until next year. Now my guess is that the reason they're delaying it like a whole year, I think personally, it probably has to do with the Capcom press E3 conference that just occurred. So they actually did confirm to us that Resident Evil 8 was going to get DLC, right? Now, I don't think it was a huge surprise to anybody that Resident Evil 8 was going to get DLC, right? Especially since Resident Evil 8 did, yeah, fantastic, right? A lot of people love that game, including myself, right? But what I think they're probably going to do is that when the DLC hits in about a year, and that's usually common for, you know, especially for the Resident Evil main titles to receive DLC in about a year's time, right? I mean, if I remember Resident Evil 5 came out like in 2009, and I'm pretty sure the Gold Edition came out in 2010 with Lost in Nightmares, Desperate Escape, and other online game modes. And I think it was the same thing for Resident Evil 6. Resident Evil 6 came out like in October of 2012, and I think it took them about a year for them to make other online game modes. Yeah, those game modes weren't that great. But anyways, in Resident Evil 7, I actually never followed that, since I never actually played the game until this year. I got the platinum, right? I started playing in January, and I was like, I should get the platinum right before Resident Evil 8. But yeah, so it's very common, right, if I'm not mistaken, for it to take a year for the downloadable content to come out for Resident Evil 8. And so that would make more sense, right? For the Resident Evil Reverse to come out better, right, when the DLC hits. Or else it would just be weird, right? Especially if we just waited a year for a free to play game and then it didn't come out. I think that's probably what they're doing. That's probably the plan. That makes more sense to me. But yeah, but in any case, right, we're just going to have to wait, right? It is kind of a bummer. Like I said, I was looking forward to trying it, playing with my friends, right? Since a lot of them have Resident Evil 8. But yeah, the only thing we can hope for is that they really work on game modes, right? And so it's not just focused on free-for-all, because personally that'll get old really quickly, right? And the only map that we basically saw was like a weird open area of Raccoon, or the Raccoon Police Department, right? RPD. And so hopefully they come up with better maps, right? They come up with better, they add more characters. I thought that was weird that they had Chris from Resident Evil 7, even though Resident Evil 8 came out, right? I thought that was a weird pick, right? Hopefully you can pick different outfits, right? That they fix the game, right? Especially since, it's coming out in a year. So, game developers can do a lot in a year, right? And especially since COVID restrictions is going down. Yeah, that's all we can hope for, right? Is that the game comes out in a really good place. And I know that could be a bummer, but also, right, I mean, if we look at other games, right, AAA titles, I guess, well, this isn't, I guess, really a AAA title, but if we look at other games, right, like Battlefront 2, or even like Marvel's Avengers, which is struggling right now, right, those games came out unfinished, right? They had several problems, and they quickly died, right? And so, I think it's better for them personally that they delay the game so that they can work on it, right? Especially since, like I said, if it was just going to be free for all or a bunch of maps like that, then the game was going to die in just like a couple of months, right? Or less than that, right? I mean, Battlefront 2, right? Star Wars Battlefront 2, it did redeem itself, but it did take like 2 years. Marvel's Avengers isn't doing well, right? And that's another game that, like I said, got released unfinished. And so, yeah, maybe this is the best course of action. But in any case, let me know down in the comments what you guys think of this, right? Do you think it's a good idea for them to delay it so that it's better? Or are you guys really disappointed? Yeah, let me know. And so if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to knife that like button, and remember to shoot that subscribe button in the face if this is your first time here. And remember to punch that notification bell like Chris punches that boulder in Resident Evil 5. And just like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I consistently post about everything that has to do about Resident Evil. So that includes news, theories, lore videos. And so if any of those topics interest you, then consider joining the Project Wesker family. And also feel free to follow me on my social media since I post different stuff there. And yeah, thank you so much everybody for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.
The right to be a god. That right is now mine.